Poor Karen Defaced, my mom's memorial bench, didn't know my uncle's chief of police. The park was silent, save for the faint rustle of leaves and the distant hum of a lawnmower. Then came the hiss of spray paint, a sound that sliced through the calm like a knife. By the time I arrived, the memorial bench, my mother's bench, was a mockery of her memory, dripping with red paint like blood from a wound. I'm Ethan, 22, and that bench was all I had left of her. She died 2 years ago, cancer stealing her breath after a decade of fighting. The town built the bench to honor her, a nurse who'd saved countless lives at the local hospital. Her name, Clara Reynolds, was carved into the wood, along with in loving memory. Every Sunday, I'd sit there, tracing the letters, feeling her presence. It was my sanctuary until Karen decided it wasn't. Karen Miller, the neighborhood's self-appointed queen, had been a thorn in everyone's side for years. Mid-40s, with a peroxide blonde bob and a voice that could curdle milk, she ruled our small town's HOA with an iron fist. No one's mailbox was regulation height, no one's lawn was green enough, and heaven help you if your dog barked past 8 p. But this was different. This was personal. It started innocently enough, or so I thought. A month ago, Karen began complaining about the bench's location. It sat near the park's entrance, prime real estate for her weekly yoga group. It's an eyesore, she'd said at a town meeting, her lips pursed like she'd bitten a lemon. All those flowers people leave block the path. I was there, gripping my chair, biting my tongue. Those flowers were from people Mom had helped, patients, families, friends. They were tributes, not clutter. But Karen didn't care. She never did. Her complaints grew louder. She'd march through the park, pointing at the bench like it was a personal insult, her voice carrying over the playground. It's not even centered properly. Who approved this? I tried to ignore her, hoping she'd move on to her next petty crusade. But Karen wasn't one to let things go. She started a petition to have the bench relocated to a less obtrusive spot, a shady corner by the dumpster, where no one would see it. I found out when she shoved the petition under my door, her signature sprawling across the top like a taunt. I went to the next town meeting, my hands shaking as I held up a photo of Mom smiling in her nurse's scrubs. This bench isn't just wood, I said, my voice cracking. It's for everyone she saved. Please leave it where it is. The room was quiet, heads nodding. Even Mayor Thompson, usually spineless, agreed the bench should stay. Karen's face turned red, her eyes narrowing to slits. This isn't over, she muttered as she stormed out. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Mrs. Delaney, the elderly librarian who lived across from the park. Ethan, you need to come quick, she whispered, her voice trembling. It's the bench. I ran the 3 blocks from my apartment, my heart pounding. When I got there, I froze. The bench was unrecognizable. Red spray paint streaked across it, the words Clara Reynolds obliterated under jagged lines. The wood was splintered, as if someone had taken a hammer to it. A single word was scrawled in the center. Move. I felt like I'd been punched. My knees buckled, and I sank to the ground, staring at the wreckage. Mrs. Delaney stood beside me, her hand on my shoulder. I saw her. Ethan, she said softly. It was Karen. She was here an hour ago with a can of paint and a crowbar. Rage surged through me, hot and sharp. I wanted to scream, to find Karen and make her feel the pain she'd caused. But I couldn't move. All I could do was stare at the ruins of Mom's memory. Word spread fast. By noon, a small crowd had gathered, neighbors, friends, people Mom had helped. They whispered, their faces a mix of shock and anger. How could she, one woman said, clutching a bouquet of daisies she'd brought for the bench? Clara was a saint. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. My throat was tight, my eyes burning. Then I heard her voice. What's all this fuss about? Karen sauntered into the park, her yoga mat tucked under her arm. She stopped short when she saw the crowd. her smirk faltering for a split second before returning. "Oh, please, it's just a bench. You people act like it's a shrine." I stood, my fists clenched. "You did this," I said, my voice low but steady. "You destroyed it." Karen laughed, a sharp, grating sound. "Prove it, kid. You think I'd waste my time on that old thing?" She stepped closer, her eyes gleaming with defiance. Maybe it was vandals. Maybe it was an accident. Either way, it's not my problem, the crowd murmured, their anger palpable. "Mrs." Delaney stepped forward, her frail frame trembling but her voice firm. "I saw you, Karen. I saw you with the paint, the crowbar. You can't lie your way out of this." Karen's face twisted. "You're senile, old lady. No one's going to believe you." She turned to the crowd, raising her voice. "This is ridiculous. You're all obsessed with a dead woman's bench when we could have a proper yoga space here." That was when I snapped. "Her name was Clara," I shouted, stepping toward her. "She saved lives while you were busy writing tickets for unmowed lawns. You don't get to erase her." The crowd roared in agreement, their voices rising like a wave. Karen took a step back, her confidence cracking. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. A man pushed through the crowd, his presence commanding silence. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with gray hair and a face carved from stone. His police chief's uniform gleamed in the sunlight, the badge catching my eye. It was Uncle Ray Mom's older brother, who I hadn't seen in months. He'd been away on a training course, but there he was, staring at Karen like she was a bug under his boot. "Ethan," he said, his voice calm but edged with steel. "Mrs. Delaney called me. I came as soon as I could." He turned to Karen, who was now visibly sweating. "You've got some explaining to do, Ms. Miller," Karen stammered, her bravado crumbling. I don't know what you're talking about. This is harassment." Uncle Ray didn't blink. "We've got a witness, and I'm betting there's security footage from the park's entrance camera. Care to test that theory?" The crowd parted as he stepped toward the bench, his eyes scanning the damage. He knelt, touching the splintered wood, and I saw his jaw tighten. Mom had been his little sister, his hero. This wasn't just vandalism to him, it was personal. Karen's face went pale. "You can't prove anything," she said, but her voice was weak, her hands shaking as she clutched her yoga mat like a shield. "Oh, I think we can," Uncle Ray said. He pulled out his phone and dialed. "Dispatch. Send a unit to Willow Park. We've got a vandalism case, and I want the suspect detained." The crowd erupted in cheers, but I couldn't join them? I was too angry, too hurt. All I could see was Mom's name, buried under paint and hate. The confrontation exploded from there. Karen lunged forward, pointing at Uncle Ray. "You're abusing your power. This is a setup," she screamed, her voice shrill. "You can't arrest me over a stupid bench." "It's not about the bench," I said, my voice cutting through her tirade. "It's about what it means. It's about my mom, who spent her life helping people while you spent yours tearing them down." The crowd nodded, their faces hard with resolve. Karen looked around, realizing she was alone, her allies nowhere to be found. Uncle Ray stepped closer, his voice low and dangerous. "You've been terrorizing this town for years. Karen, harassing neighbors, finding people into debt, making life miserable. This time, you went too far." He gestured to the bench. "This is a crime, and you're not walking away from it." The police arrived minutes later, 2 officers stepping out of a cruiser. Karen's eyes darted between them, then to the crowd, then to me. For the first time, I saw fear in her face. "You can't do this," she whispered, but no one was listening. The officers read her rights as they cuffed her yoga mat falling to the ground. The crowd watched in silence, the weight of justice settling over the park. As they led her away, Karen turned to me, her voice venomous. "This isn't over. Ethan, you'll regret this." I didn't flinch. "No, Karen, You will. The aftermath was swift and merciless. The security footage confirmed Mrs. Delaney's account. Karen, caught in grainy color, defacing the bench with a crowbar and spray paint. The town was outraged. Petitions circulated to remove her from the HOA, and within a week, she was ousted. Her fines, her rules, her reign of terror, it all crumbled. The mayor issued a public apology, and the bench was restored, the town raising funds to replace the wood and engrave Mom's name deeper, bolder, as if to say it could never be erased again. Karen faced charges for vandalism and destruction of public property. At the hearing, she tried to play the victim, claiming she'd been provoked by the bench's poor placement. The judge wasn't buying it. She was fined heavily, ordered to pay for the bench's restoration, and sentenced to community service cleaning, the very park she'd defiled. I heard she moved away a month later. Her house sold at a loss. No one missed her. I sat on the restored bench a week after the hearing, the new wood smooth under my fingers. Mom's name gleamed in the sunlight, surrounded by fresh flowers from the community. Uncle Ray sat beside me, his hand on my shoulder. "She'd be proud of you," he said. "You stood up for her." I nodded, tears stinging my eyes. "I just wanted her to be remembered." "She will be," he said. "Always." The park felt different now, lighter, as if Mom's spirit had reclaimed it. The community came together, not just to fix the bench, but to honor her legacy. They planted a garden around it, each flower a testament to someone she'd helped. I go there every Sunday, and sometimes, I swear I can feel her smiling. Karen thought she could erase my mother's memory, but she only made it stronger. Her actions, born of spite, united a town against her. Justice wasn't just served, it was carved into the very wood she tried to destroy. What do you think was justice served? Or should Karen have faced harsher consequences? Share your thoughts, I'd love to hear them.